Good morning, or good afternoon, and good evening, whenever you're watching this. Carlos, thank you so much for being here. My name is John Fedro, and I'm sitting here with Carlos Guzman, active mobile home investor out of Tennessee. Thank you so much for being here, Carlos.
Thank you, John.
Excellent. Thank you for being here. And you have, in the past few months since you've gotten started, you've not had excuses. You've done what was asked of you. You've taken action. You have more experience and education than obviously a lot of people who have been a real estate investor but then have never even purchased their first home. And you've got a few under your belt already. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. In a few sentences, can you tell us what your real estate investing history was before we got started together in mobile homes?
Before we got started, John, I didn't have no experience at all. I had bought my first single home family back in Florida. It's been rented out, and that's the only thing that I knew about real estate. And then I got really interesting learning when cash flow started coming in, picked up a few books and started learning about real estate. And Google mobile home investing, and your name came up, and I started watching the YouTube videos and took your webinar, and that's the way that I got started back in March.
Excellent. And you've got started. You had very little investing history, but
Very little.
what I have to say though, with mobile homes, this is a people business. You don't need a lot of credit, don't need a lot of money, but you're disarming, and you really want to help people, and you don't mind talking to people. I mean, we don't sit behind a computer. We're in front of people. We're helping people. So, and investors, park managers, realtors, dealers, brokers, sellers, buyers. So that is you in a nutshell. So I mean, the fact that you take action and you want to help people, and you do what you say you're going to do. You've proven yourself to park managers and sellers, and now people are sending you deals and sending you leads. Tell us, if you would, sort of a rundown of the last few months since you got started.
Great. Since I got started in March, started following your modules, started driving around different parks. Let me say this, I'm brand new in Tennessee. I moved to Tennessee in January. I started your mobile home investing in March. I don't know anything about Tennessee. I just started driving around, going to different mobile home parks, 50, 60 miles away. And finally, a park manager sold me my first deal. It was a 4-2 single wide for 6,500, and it needed some repairs. It was my first deal. I was excited. I know you said don't spend no more than 5, but I was excited, and I spent 65. Repaired the home. It was a gated community. Repaired the home. That was another lesson learned. I hired a contractor that I didn't really knew because I was here new in Tennessee, and he charged me almost the same price that I bought the home for, and it was a lesson learned. And it took me about 45 days to sell the house.
Okay.
And I was happy when I sold the home. Got my first deal under the belt. And for some reason, right after that, I started picking up 2 deals back to back.
Okay.
So my second deal was a mobile home that I purchased through an auction that nobody showed up but
And
myself.
That's right.
So I was the only one in there, and I bought it. I bought the home. It was a handyman special. I didn't do much. I paid $2,000 for the home. Probably another $700 to $800 in repairs, and I sold the home as is. I started advertising the home, and for some reason, I did less repairs, and my phone was ringing off the hook. Probably 30 or 40 sellers was interested in that home. And I sold it, $3,000 move-in fee, and $440 cash flow for the next 3 years and a half.
Beautiful. Okay. And how long did it take you to sell that one?
It took me 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because I was fixing the plumbing. If not, it would have taken me probably 10 days after I put it in advertise.
Okay. And now, actually, something before we go on to the third deal, let's go back and talk about the first one, and the difference between you you hired a contractor who typically works on traditional homes, right? Doesn't
Yes,
he?
sir.
Okay. So when you're that type of contractor, for everyone listening, and now you know, mobile home handymen, mobile home contractors, they understand mobile homes, and well, first of all, we don't want to fix our home up to, we don't want to over improve it. We want to fix and correct what needs fixing. And a mobile home handyman, for most issues, plumbing and electrical are different, but for most issues, a handyman on a mobile home, which the park manager can help you, or we can find decent leads on Craigslist, they're going to be your cheapest bet. But a contractor will always charge you the most, and they're going to overfix the property. They're going to think that they know everything that needs to be done. And now that you have a few tenants, tenant buyers, I have a hunch that you can call them up if you get another property in Tennessee. You can call them up, and they might do some of the work for discounted payments per month.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So that was what I wanted to discuss about that. And then and then for the second deal, you had an auction. I think that is very cool, and you were the only one there. And then the third deal, how did that one come? What were the numbers on that?
The third deal, it was also from the same park where I bought my auction home. It was the same day they had an auction. I didn't buy the property because it was selling it for too much money. Okay. I waited about a month later. After I sold my second home, the park manager called me. He said, "Hey, Carlos, I have a deal for you. It's the same home that you saw in the auction. Do you want it?" So I went over there. I looked at the home, and I told him, "Okay, I'll give you $1,000 cash." He said, "No, I will not take that, but I will do terms." And then I call you, and you said, "Okay, let's work some terms." So I got the home for $5,000, $1,000 down, and $111 a month for 36 months. And before I told him, yeah, I started advertising the home. Started getting some calls, and the tenant buyers, I was telling them that I'm going to sell the house as is, handyman special with $1,000 down. Got a tenant buyer who was really interested in the home. He gave me the $1,000. I didn't do anything to the house. I didn't even clean the home. He did all the cleaning. I took the $1,000. I gave it to the park manager, and that's the way that I bought the home.
Brilliant. Yes. Excellent. And what were the, moving forward, the terms?
I sold the home for $610, including the lot rent. Okay. So my cash flow is going to be $300 for the next 4 years.
Okay. Now, I would like to start seeing you have a 5-year minimum that you're reselling homes. Okay. And we can talk about that and work on that as the deals move forward.
Sure.
What is a good lesson that you've learned that you've sort of been surprised about since you just got started a few months ago?
Selling the homes a handyman special. I have noticed that people are really, really interested in buying the home as is. They take more pride, and they would fix the home themselves.
Okay.
Instead of me putting all the time and fixing the home very nice, and it was going to take me longer time to sell it by selling it as a handyman special.
It's going to take you less time.
Yes,
to sell it as a handyman.
That's right.
So great lesson because I think a lot of people that are listening is sort of hard to comprehend. Many of us don't live in mobile homes, but it's important to realize, depending who you're selling to and your exit strategy, are you selling it for cash? Are you selling it for bank financing? Are you selling it for payments? And most of the folks who we sell to, you're right. They're hardworking. They're good people. They have decent incomes, no evictions, minor criminal history, if any. So they're always good, hardworking people that we sell to. There's a lot of people we don't want to sell to. However, more of those people are handy and have only $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 instead of $4,000 to $6,000 or more $1,000. Right. So I find it interesting, or not interesting, but pretty standard, that it took you longer to sell the first deal.
That's right.
But to be fair, how many days did it take to do the repairs before you actually?
It took me about 15 days to do the repair with the contractor. He was taking his
Okay.
time, and it took me about 15 days. And I
Okay.
was already advertising the home
Okay.
while he was doing the repairs.
So a full 45 days to sell the first
It,
one, and
it
that was the nicest. That was the nicest one. Yep.
tiles, painted, new bathrooms,
Hmm.
exterior vinyl, everything.
So
And it took me a much longer to sell the home than the other two handyman specials.
so great lesson. Great lesson. And now you know that, and that's constant in most areas. But for anybody listening, be aware that no matter who you sell to, pre-screen people. Pre-screen them. Make sure that they, are the right people, low risk that you want to put in your home that are going to stay there for 3, 4, 5, 10 years and pay you everything. Perfect. Now you are currently in transition now, moving out of state to somewhere else.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm originally from Florida, so I'm gonna move back to Florida. We just came here temporarily, just for the winter months, and I started investing. Did 3 deals, but now I'm ready to go back to Florida and see how's the market in Florida.
I think you know how the market is from the folks in our group, in our
That's
Facebook
right.
group,
That's
yeah.
right.
And you're going to be a good fit. April. You started 4 months ago. What advice? And I know you didn't believe this. You didn't know
Nope.
that this was possible. What is some advice that you would give to yourself, if somebody that's in your shoes, thinking, is mobile home investing real?
That's right. Matter of fact, John, I think I was one of the ones that told you, John, can we do payments first to see if this thing really works? And once I got started, um, go out, read the modules, do your homework, go out, start meeting park managers, and just like you said, start meeting people, start meeting sellers and buyers, and just go out and do it. Go out and do it, and it will really work. Even for me, I was amazed
Even for
how.
you, what does that mean?
I mean,
Even for
it
you.
was just like, wow, all of this deals just start coming
Well,
and
that's
it
you.
works.
I mean,
Hmm.
you're the one that's making yourself well known. If the material and the training, that's one thing, but you hitting the ground, you making an impact on people's lives, and being reachable and being honest and hardworking and disarming and helpful. That's all you. So I don't have any thought in my mind that you're just going to give up. You see that this works, and now you're going to Florida and going to continue to make it work.
That's right.
What did you when you first got into the mobile home formula training, the lessons and the modules in the back end? What's something that you really liked about that?
Um, Helping people is, that's what I really like. I like going out there and trying to put a family in a home, and the happiest time that I see is when I see the kids coming with mom and they really like the home a lot. Like, mom, I really want to stay in this house. I like it a lot. That's for me is the most satisfying feeling once you sell a house. Yeah.
I love that picture that you took. That it's the family standing in front,
Yes.
the happy family standing in front of their
Very happy.
newly owned home.
Hmm.
I love that, and I'm so glad that you said that because that's a real feeling. We're helping sellers, we're helping buyers, we're creating value, we're educating everybody that we can that'll listen to us. So wonderful job. Thank you so much for being here. And do you mind if I include that picture somewhere on this
You can
so
go
people
ahead.
can see that? Okay,
Not a problem. Yes,
perfect.
sir.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here, Carlos. And I'll
Thank
always
you,
be here
John.
for you in the future. So you got my number.
Thank you,
Always
John.
call me. Okay. Take care.